people all people just distro hop everywhere until they find a distro that they like, right? So we have a pretty stable input of like people trying to use Ultramarine, and it's just the important thing is here we need to keep them to and so that they don't actually move away. They find Ultramarine to be the last piece they need to be distro hopping in.
Yeah.
So we will like try to make our distro more polished, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I think there is outreach that has to be done, but in terms of like ultimately what's gonna dictate whether people stay or not, right? And what's gonna, you know, make or break
Yeah,
Ultramarine is if people enjoy the experience. And so far people are, but we have to it's
it
constant
could be
work.
better.
It could be better. Everything could be better, yeah. And I have fishes in my head. Okay. Next question. So this one, is from Cringe Phenom on Twitter. And it is: would offering a version with the Unity desktop environment be positive for Ultramarine? I know this type of question is covered in the wiki, but considering how little availability there is for Unity compared to other desktop environments outside of Ubuntu, anyways, I think it's valid. Um, yeah, that exactly what Neil said. Unity is quite dead, and like we don't. Okay, a couple things. First, we don't want to end up in a situation like Pantheon,
And
where
ugly fish.
yeah, it was just quite like a burden to basically patch it to be compatible on the latest Fedora, while it also being the least used version of Ultramarine. So again, like with Unity, there's not much development happening on it, and I don't foresee usage. Like, I don't perceive it as being like a breakout variant of Ultramarine.
What about Lomiri?
I think Lemire, there's more of a justification for Lemire. Yes.
Well, 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 well. In some sense, we are pretty experienced with this, so trust the experts. We literally like
And there you
had this
go.
like
Yeah,
twice.
there's the Lemire
We
thing.
messed up with Qfish, and then or I don't know, Cyber or Qfish or it's ugly fish, however you call it.
Ugly fish.
And then we messed up with Elementary Pantheon. Uh, yeah. I don't think we are gonna fall into this rabbit hole or something again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for other desktop environments or window managers that are popular enough and well maintained, like something like except CE, then we have pretty good justification to put it as a new edition. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in this case, um, next question. Let me just pop it up here. So, the question
For
is, yeah, what?
we do have Lomiri packages in Terra. It's just we don't like
Think they
it's not
work.
very usable right now because some of them doesn't actually build. But yeah,
We
they
might want to
exist.
like send Catmaster upstream to the Fedora SIG, and
No,
if Fedora is serious about
I don't know
packaging
if
Lomiri, we
Master
should be
even
pulling it
like
from Terra.
yeah, sure.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, yeah. I guess the next question is, what's your favorite thing you worked on for UM, no matter how big or small? Anyone can answer here.
I'll answer.
One.
I
My
guess they'll go
favorite
first.
things.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no, Owen's trying to talk. He's just very
Yeah.
quiet.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
wait, let me turn. Sorry, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hard to pick a favorite thing, but my favorite general thing I've worked on is Ultramarine Anywhere. So hardware support with like Chromebooks, Raspberry Pi, Surface, WSL, stuff like that has been super fun to work on. And this might seem small, but I also just like working on the wiki because it's fun and people compliment it a lot.
Yeah. That's kind of surprising. Most people I know don't like doing documentation.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the
Oh, I
wiki as
like it.
well.
Yeah,
What are
it's
you
fun.
looking? Addison,
Relaxing.
why are you giving me the look?
My documentation.
I'm sorry. Okay, Addison, you like docs. I know, Addison.
You should see that Owen and I are writing a manual of style for our documentation right now. So that's actually coming soon for the contributors in the audience.
Woo!
And I guess I'll jump in. Ultramarine Anywhere, of course, is very, very fun to work on. Like I just seeing, Chromebooks boot regular Linux without like having to fuck around too much with them. It just feels amazing, especially on ARM Chromebooks, which you can get. There are a lot of interesting variants, like the Duet, I think it is, which
Yeah.
is
Yep.
like essentially a tablet. Cappy!
Cappy's mic was off the whole time.
No one ever noticed. I was like, Cap is actually amazingly quiet. I was like,
Yeah,
what
I
is
was shocked at
happening?
how little Cappy was talking.
Yeah.
And I guess the
Oh,
other, yeah, I was gonna say is that in
Her VTuber avatar is jumping up and down, but like she's not there.
yeah, it was very odd.
No, she's still not there. I still can't hear her.
also, maybe it's a Discord thing. Rejoin.
That's so funny.
Addison, do you want to sit next to me instead of across?
Okay,
I can.
I'm gonna
It's your
answer about the
choice.
small thing.
You can
My
figure out
favorite
how.
small
Just
thing
don't touch the
that I worked
Discord
on
board.
for Ultramarine was that getting into Raspberry Pi imager. If you don't already know, I am a huge Raspberry Pi fangirl, and getting to work with the Raspberry Pi people and getting to see our logo in imager was just really, really nice for me, and I really enjoyed doing it. I am a little bit sad that our release that's currently in there is so broken, but we are working on that actively right now. So hopefully things will be better soon with that.
Yeah, and on Raspberry Pi specifically, there's some exciting. We have because of our collaboration with them, our partnership with them, we're gonna have something that's going to be announced. There's something that will be announced pretty soon, which I think will be very exciting.
Have been seeing like Tiffin, 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 and Tiffin.
Oh, also to answer Neil's question about plans to contribute upstream work, a lot of it is not allowed in Fedora, especially some of the proprietary but redistributable stuff. I don't know if that would be allowed in Fedora, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be. So no, I don't believe we'll be able to contribute any of the stuff upstream.
I would love to, though, if possible.
I mean, we are working with
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi directly, though, so that's something.
Maybe we can pressure them to put some stuff into the kernel directly. That would be nice.
Yeah.
For me, like this question is especially hard. I like uh one interesting part, I guess, is probably working on the like switcher, the Ultramarine Hub thing, because like it's new territory for everyone in, I think, Fedora. Should I say
Being
like I
able
don't
to
think any
switch
actually
editions,
work
yeah.
on a at waiter app in NIM. I think I'm the only one crazy here that actually try this out on with like probably the first production code in the world in Fedora that actually is written in NIM, but with at waiter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the code is like satisfying to watch and type. You guys should check out the code base. Like it's really, really satisfying too. just write out everything as you want it to be. Like NIM is so underrated.
Yeah, I agree. I actually I was looking at the Adwaita Nim stuff and it does actually look pretty neat. Um, I guess
We are
another
also
thing.
porting.
Go.
Yeah. Like I'm personally trying to port Lithium to NIM too. So we'll see how it goes. But like, yeah, I hope we could have more people try it out.
Yeah, and we have some exciting plans for Lipelium in general in the future.
Yep.
But not
We
that
will
big.
live before,
Yeah, we
right?
will. That will probably be announced a different time though.
Yep.
Yeah, and then one other thing I wanted to add was, I guess everything I mean, for Ultramarine specifically, right? I think I mean, hmm. I guess we make this more of a general question about like what have they worked on for, I guess, Fyra in general that I have enjoyed, right? Probably just everything really. Like I really enjoy, like, even if it's some of the work that I have to do as a menial or like stuff that isn't necessarily engineering related. I have to deal with a bunch of like legal and business stuff and contracts and such like that, you know. It is, at the end of the day, it does like fulfill me.
Also, like hearing your word legal sounds painful.
Oh,
It
I think the legal stuff can be really fun, but can also be really terrifying.
Yeah, it is quite scary at times.
Recently my parents were doing something with the banker, and they asked me after they came back, "Are you on an LLC?" And I'm like, yeah." And they're like, "Oh, we didn't know. Okay." And then they just moved on with their day.
Yeah, just typical things, you know.
How did how the heck did they not even ask you for more info? Like that's crazy.
Yeah. There are reasons that we are an LLC, by the way, Neil, over in S Corp. I don't know if we're gonna get into them tonight, but there is a reason for it.
Yeah, I I think it would be time to move to the next question, though. To be quite honest,
I
Yeah.
agree, yeah.
yeah, I want to make sure this doesn't end up being like a 5-hour stream because it very it could.
It could.
Yeah, it could. Oh boy. Oh, this is a great one. Okay, I think Neil will love this
Best
question.
timing, best timing, best
Yes,
timing.
Neil and Motto will love this. Thoughts on KD's elevation to edition status from Castle Gogol on Twitter. I'll just let
It's
Motto.
deserved.
I'm gonna start with our stance real quick. We think it's great for KDE and their adoption and improvement as a desktop, but it has caused us a little bit of trouble downstream. Overall good, but there are some conflicts now that we had to work through.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, and like, I love to see it. Okay,
Me too. It's kind
happy.
of
That's
great.
happy. L take.
KDE's glow up since KDE 6.0 has been absolutely insane. I am shocked at how much better KDE has gotten since 6.0.
Dude, you
And
never actually use KD5.
I use KDE twice a year, every year from 5 point something like
Yeah,
2021
KD5.
5.0
I think
on.
KD5 is basically the same as KD6. Like nothing. I felt
No,
like
I
nothing
I had so
changed
many
up.
issues, and the settings app was poorly designed, and the high DPI issues, and blah blah blah. And then in KDE 6, it feels like they polished everything up, and it's honestly getting to on par with GNOME in my
Nah,
eyes.
nah.
Yeah.
As a
Skill
GNOME
issue.
lover,
Well,
Skill
wait.
issue.
So, well, right. The thing,
Yep.
it wasn't the KD6, at least from what I've seen, added much new features or anything. It was more in my mind that they just polished up the experience, right? And I think I think the polish matters for regular people that are not mono and that are massive KD fanboys.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Uh, and we have Neil here who has insight into KDE because Neil's very big KDE simp, as we all know.
Katie, you just called Neil a simp? Jover.
Nothing is fair. I think it's publicly
Look,
a fact already.
Mono's
The
a
difference
KD.
between a simp, the difference between being a simp for something and loving something is that loving something often has justifications, and being a
Okay,
simp usually doesn't.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, okay? Like, you know, like Mono's a KD simp too, okay? Thank you, Addison. Uh, no, but I think I really like KD. Like, I think it's been getting so much better than when I heard like
I think
first started using it.
yeah, I think like the one of the most I think they work on the thing they work on so like the most hardest thing they worked on is the Hidden Life
Kden Live is
program.
just good in a vacuum. I used that.
It's
I
like
used that on macOS back in the day. I love Kden Live.
yeah, Hidden Life is so underrated. Like I I don't know how to put it. I tried out like Shortcut too, but like nah, like Shortcut is so actually buggy. Like I don't know. It crashes like every 10 seconds or something.
Cut is not great, and like I've used like the
Yeah.
professional ones too. I've used to be a Premiere user, and then I switched to Kden Live, and I've never looked back.
Kden
I mean,
Live is amazing.
Kate Live also crashes for like probably like probably twice a day or something when I was editing videos or something. Well,
Never had Kden Live crash in my life.
but like, it's probably just me because like I don't know what I was doing with like I'm putting so many stuff in a goddamn video, but yeah, like it had like I don't know how you can like Shortcut the features in Shortcut is like unbearably tiny. Like the collection is tiny. Like I don't know how I actually just made videos in Shortcut. But I don't I have no idea how I did it. But like in KD you had like basically everything you need for I don't know like most things. Yeah. So one thing I don't one thing I hope that would there will be in KD is like KD Life is like there's like no shaking effect. Like there's a I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to add shaking effect and then I ended up just using trash mode and then
We
using
should take
shake manually.
Cappy's complaint, and then we should move on to the next question because we've been on this one for a minute.
Yeah.
Cappy, what's your
Okay.
complaint about KDE then? AO is synchronous and it breaks my NSF shares. That's my only complaint against KDE, says Cappy. Um, I have no idea, honestly. And Neil says to
I
go
have no
fix
idea
it.
too, honestly.
Go fix it. True.
Go fix it. I love the
Go
open
fix it.
source grind, man.
Yeah. Well, next question.
Okay, next question. I'm sorry. Yeah. Next
Yeah, no,
question.
it's all
I
good.
talked
It's
too
all
much.
good.
I yapped too much. I'll keep it alive.
Yeah, Motto's a big Kingdom Live
Can you zoom
fan.
in on the text editor a bit and make the text
Yeah,
editor bigger?
sure. Okay. Well, I guess so. Next question. This one is for Jade. Looks like.
Oh, neat.
Aside from Discovery and GNOME software, is there any in-house solution to cope with package managing, like major updates, like let's say Manjaro has 64BR137 on Reddit?
Okay, so there's actually something very exciting going on in the Fedora downstream community right now. Nobara is working on a app store of their own, but there is a caveat, and it's that it's only for Flatpaks, which isn't great for us because we rely on the app store to do system upgrades as well and install RPMs. So we're going to be sticking with software and Discover for now because of the system update support. But if something better were to come, we would be interested in switching at least on XFCE and Flagship.
Yeah. Use XFCE and Flagship. Both are currently running GNOME software.
Yeah, and actually, Neil's right. Discover is getting
Oh.
a lot
I'll
more
have to
general.
try it then. Yeah.
I've noticed things happening. Discover is a good piece of software, and GNOME software is known for being slow. So anything moving anywhere lighter than GNOME software is a win for XFCE and flagship editions.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
mhm.
Neil, I'd love to hear more about
Discover
that
is
later, but
still
I think that
pretty
might be a good
slow,
idea.
but like I think the bottleneck is on DNF or something.
We
Testing. Hello. Can anyone hear me?
Oh my
yes, we can
god.
hear you,
Yeah.
Cappy.
Oh.
Cappy's here
Finally!
now.
Holy crap!
Does the Cosmic Store support RPMs? I know it does system updates, but does it like support showing upstream metadata for RPMs? Okay, interesting. Also, isn't PackageKit going away in at least GNOME software?
I mean, what will replace it?
Just raw dogging the package manager.
I guess.
Well, in Ultramarine Hub and then Ultramarine Upgrade, like I don't know if anyone remembers Ultramarine Upgrade, to be honest, but like those two, we just call DNF5 manually.
Yeah.
We literally
Wow.
just call DNF5 install blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
So
that's not the cleanest.
and yeah,
solution.
it's faster. It's faster than PackageKit.
It's probably
and
way faster. PackageKit's very slow.
PackageKit is very very unreliable somehow. I don't know why. Like it's slow.
Well, we have a
and
maintainer in chat, it seems.
Oh no.
time to complain. Time to complain. Or so you cat hour.
God.
We should probably move on to the next question,
Okay.
though.
Next question.
Okay.
This is certainly something.
This is a Cappy question.
Okay. The question. Can I? Let me read the question real quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why Linux and some upper kernel like BSD or a Plan 9 fork? I mean, that is. Okay. From Casey on from Mastodon, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mastodon Social. So this question is pretty funny because I mean really, FreeBSD. I mean, what run FreeBSD other than like? Actually, I don't know.
Okay, I guess I'll give the more coherent response then.
Okay. What runs BSD other than remotely macOS? macOS is kind of BSD. Okay, it's not really Mac. It's not really Mac. It's not really macOS. macOS actually
From the
runs
network
what's it
stuff,
called in Darwin?
BSD.
Yeah.
Darwin, which is BSD user space with
But-
mock and kernel.
Yeah, but the reason why it's Linux is because, well, what other kernel has support for like software for like the most software other than Windows or Mac OS? Basically none. Yes.
Yeah, like it's on.
And plus, also, SteamOS is a thing, and people are hopping on Linux more now because of SteamOS. Thank you, Valve. Thank you, Gabe Newell. I love you. Please buy. Yeah, I need more Steam sales. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I guess to summarize, it's just Linux has the adoption, has the hardware app support, and it meets our requirements, and it is, in our opinion, the best way to get to our goals. So that's why we aren't going FreeBSD or Plan 9. And
I keep hearing about Plan 9 lately. It's kind of like crazy how much I hear about it.
As
Call
far
me
as I
later when
know-
Steam is on. Call me later when Steam is on FreeBSD.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's no
I don't think
Fedora
DDoS is
for
production
Plan
ready.
9. So
DDoS is far from production ready, if I recall correctly.
Redox barely runs on computers, is like on real hardware is the main issue with it. Like you can run it in a virtual machine, great, that's super cool, but can you actually put it on a computer? Maybe, barely. I think it like runs on a handful of x86 devices and one, I think, Pi 4. Don't quote me on that.
We also have another option though.
Oh god.
Oh, no.
React OS. React OS.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Next
punch you in
question,
the
guys.
Next question.
Okay.
Next question.
So the question is why Ultramarine versus Bluefin? Nandi and Mandarino in Discord.
Okay, I'm answering this one because I've been working super closely with the Bluefin team lately. Otto has been too, but I've been working on the philosophical side. So it comes down to preferences and use case. We're both very opinionated in our own ways, but we do have very different workflows. Our ideologies are a little bit similar, but Ultramarine skews a bit more conservative simply because of the nature of our distribution. Like Bluefin isn't scared to break BIOS support like they just did for their live images. That's partially our fault. But I pushed quite hard support in ready-made for Ultramarine because I believe very heavily in that. It's also the immutability versus mutability thing, and we, like I said, we skew more conservative because of the nature of our distro. It's because we're mutable. They push very hard on the immutable and containerized workflow, and we do a little bit less. And there's arguments on both sides as to whether or not this is a good thing, but it really does come down to what you do yourself.
Yeah, like I guess the uBlue projects, like it does feel that the distros they offer are more geared towards specific purposes, or at least they should be. Like, Bazite, for example, is a very good example of this, where Bazite's geared specifically to handhelds, right? Or gaming in general. Ultramarine is more like we want Ultramarine to be able to essentially replace your existing Windows install, right? So our goals have to
it's
go towards that rather than something like uBlue, where their goals are more, I guess, specific per their subprojects.
And for the
it's more
question was
like a
about Bluefin
desktop
specifically. Bluefin's specific purpose is not to provide a general GNOME desktop system. It's to provide a GNOME desktop system for the container workflow. So that's another disconnect. Our goal is to provide a generic system. Theirs is to provide a specialized system.
Yeah, like
And
how do I put this?
I know Neil has opinions about this.
Like
Point.
the people that we are targeting, right? Like these are ordinary people that they don't need to know what a container is, right? They don't really they just need something that works and works well, right? Neil. Oh my god.
That's Neil's favorite phrase right now, or
the
in my
container
last couple
surface. What
conversations
does
with
that
him.
mean?
Oh boy. Yeah.
I'm
Do
not
you mean like
commenting on
people who use containers are a bunch of clowns? Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
the next next question, and again, having an upstream like Fedora makes building something like Ultramarine much nicer. Anyways, next question, and yes, you can ask questions, Layla. What aspects of Budgie had it selected as the pseudo default DE for Ultramarine? Bughouse on Discord.
So yeah. So can anyone remind me when was Budgie added in upstream Fedora?
This
Like
Neil
2
will
releases
probably-
ago.
Yeah, Neil will
39?
I think it
probably
was 46 or 47. I don't remember anymore.
No, it was or they got the spin relatively recently. I think it
47?
existed for a while.
Yeah. Well,
think it's
when did
47.
they get the spin? I don't remember.
The spin was 39 or
37 if
40,
I
I think.
recall.
Yeah. So the reason that Ultramarine Budgie was the flagship edition is it was a historic reason. So initially Ultramarine was like this desktop environment showcase where I was showcasing that I ported Budgie to Fedora, and so initially Ultramarine was supposed to be like this Budgie Fedora Budgie thing, right? But I literally realized it was pretty limiting when upstream is already porting Budgie. So yeah, Ultramarine became what it is today, a general purpose desktop distro, right?
And
Yeah.
so the main is
I can,
it's
like,
it's
pretty-
historic, and yeah. Sorry, Mom,
It's
you
a
go.
very historic reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was initially a Budgie only distro because it was my showcase of me porting Budgie to it.
And back in like 36 or something, we it's like facing, we have like ugly
This is
fish, we have Pantheon, we have No,
This is
and
actually from like way back in 34.
Yeah, didn't Ultramarine launch with 35?
No, we were launched at
I don't-
44.
I don't remember 34 or 35.
Yeah.
I don't remember 34. I remember
44
35
and
existing.
45 has been lost to time.
Yeah, like no, like
I lost
might
the
have a
files
co-
for it already.
I might have a copy of 35 somewhere because I remember trying it back in the Rizzy OS days
Yeah.
when I worked on that.
yeah, RizOS.
I
Yeah,
remember
that was-
putting a copy of 34 on
Really
on Azure Blob Storage, but I think Microsoft deleted it already.
Damn.
would not be shocked.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess going in the future, right, it is very much possible. Actually, not very much, but we are talking about changing the flagship.
We're getting rid of the idea of flagship entirely.
It's a possibility. It's not it's not a final decision. Either we're gonna get rid of
Yeah,
the idea
we are
of-
still arguing.
Yes, we are still arguing
We're
about this
still
pretty heavily.
yeah, but something will happen to flagship. Something will happen. That's all I can say. Next
Yep.
question though. Oh boy, this is a big question. Okay.
We're almost out of the Ultramarine section and into the Terra and other sections.
Yeah. What's something you want to do for Ultramarine that you see as currently unachievable or way down the road?
Man,
Oh, I have a little bit of an answer.
Go
I
ahead.
cannot answer this while I
Snapdragon
sleep
X
deprived.
Elite, baby. I see
RISC
that as a
5.
very down.
Oh, yeah,
RISC
RISC
5 as
5.
well. Oh, and you want to talk
Yes,
about
RISC
that? You're
5.
actually going to start on that, I think.
Yeah, sure. I mean, eventually the goal is to have RISC-V images as well, or at least a build system. So that's something that I want to see. I also do want to see ARM Chromebook Edition when that is like able to be a thing. Thanks, Tree, for that. I also I just had something. Server Edition too.
Oh yeah, porting Ultramarine to Switch, maybe, possibly.
We'll never be on the Wii because it's not 64-bit.
Smart
It's
frigid.
our PC. What?
The only rule that we have right now is that it needs to be 64-bit and it needs to be in Fedora.
Yeah.
Ultramarine could theoretically be ported to the Switch, but yeah.
And I meant that for architectures, not for
The tool chain is
devices.
the tool chain on building on the Switch is is a mess. I've talked with Upstream. They're legit. I've talked with the Switch root guys. They're just a mess. The whole tool chain is a mess.
All right.
Yeah.
More
I was
more
gonna
responses
say-
to this?
Yeah, I have one response. UM Phone Edition. Why not? Let's.
That's
make it
actually
fun.
something that
Why
I
not?
have.
You know
That's
what?
actually
Put Ultramarine on the phone. Yeah.
It's actually something that we've been talking about internally is having a ports setup where people can build their own ports of Ultramarine to devices. We're still working on the plan for it. So stay tuned on that, and I'd actually like to hear a lot from the Chromebook and post-market people about this. So let us know.
At the work for a moment.
Yep.
Ultramarine
anyone-
Lumia. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're putting them on the Nokia Lumia. I think okay. Let me
Yep, all the
let me
mobile
ping my
desktops are
wife
in Fedora.
really quickly.
It's Neil, the desktops are
Ari,
in Fedora, but
hello.
the goal.
The no, can you port this to the Nokia Lumia?
I'm trying to respond to Neil, but the desktops are in Fedora, yes, but we need to get onto the device that can run the desktop. That's our concern in Ultramarine.
Yeah.
You guys did the fancy. Yep, GNOME Mobile or GNOME Mobile. There's a copper for it. Bosch is in Fedora, and I'm pretty sure it's a relatively recent version too.
Honestly, I've been thinking of buying like a CMF phone and just see if I can port PMOS to it.
I have a Pine phone in my drawer. It's
Because
the worst phone I've ever
I mean,
used.
It's quite a recent phone that's quite cheap, and that has an unlock bootloader, and also looks.
And it's MediaTek. MediaTek.
What is a CMF phone?
It's nothing's budget brand.
It's nothing's budget brand, yeah. CMF
Oh,
phone
okay.
1.
So
Something
the
phone.
general answer to what's something we want to do way down the road on Ultramarine, more devices.
Yeah.
Nothing created CMF, I think,
Yeah.
Neil. I'm pretty sure they came up with it.
Oh.
They are talking about unachievable stuff that we cannot do in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say down the road. I guess we've been speaking more about specific things, but in terms of, I guess, more general, like, I guess, what does Ultramarine want to be, right? Where does the project go, and as like a ideologically wise, right?
Oh, well, way down for me, I guess.
Yeah.
It needs to be the next Mac OS 6.
Yeah.
In the sense that it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
Not the money.
Microsoft
and not
Office on Ultramarine
Yeah.
win.
I wish.
Me too. I need Excel on Linux to do work. This is why I have to keep machines around.
Addison's laughing now about the Excel.
Oh, I will get into
Oh,
it with Addison
no.
later. We've been into this before.
Oh no. This sounds bad.
Oh,
But
boy, guys, it's time for the next section.
Wait. I just want to add one thing. I guess in terms of what we want to see down the, or our general vision, right, is we want, I guess, I'll give an example. I want to bring Ultramarine to the point where, for example, I'm not saying I'm going to impose this on her, but my mother could daily drive it essentially.
I think getting your mother to use like a
So
computer
true.
with a mouse might be a challenge.
and I want every single one on Earth have the ability to actually use Ultramarine.
I also want my mother to be able to actually daily drive Ultramarine, but her
Yeah.
only blocker is the Microsoft Office suite.
Yeah.
My mom's main blocker is Microsoft Outlook and
Honestly,
Photoshop. Those
Microsoft
two.
is just
Mine
particular.
is Microsoft Word.
Honestly,
My mom is an Office or is a Outlook diehard.
honestly, it's kind of a long shot, but you know, it would be fun to try to reach out to the Affinity people, because honestly, if there's any professional software that's going to be like, I don't even, not even just not even a port, but at least like getting it to work better in Wine, right? I think Affinity.
This is something we talked about doing internally a couple months ago.
Can I say something about Affinity on Linux, because it actually kind of works. It's just a really hacky like thing. You have to build like a really special wine prefix for it. If I recall, there was a forum post on it.
That's not Ultramarine way. Having a forum post and needing to build something.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it is kind of possible.
Like, what I think what our plans would be for that is, like, I guess we'll try to reach out to the Affinity people. Or how about, okay, here's what I kind of want to do for this, right? Like, both, like, kind of in implementation wise, is I think we could probably build like a flat pack with like the specific wine and like patches that are required for Affinity to run. And you know, get the, you know, ship that flat pack, have like a custom remote.
I would need to be like officially sanctioned though, is the main issue.
We would obtain it because like their licensing. I am quite confident they would grant us like permission because their licensing thing is embedded within the application. It's not like through a store, right?
Yeah.
So kind of like how the Flatpak port of Bitwig works, I guess.
Yeah. And
or the Adobe Acrobat Flatpak.
I mean the only difference is that Bitwig is a Linux native application.
Yeah. And then the challenge would be essentially if there were like any issues that required them to fix, like to add something to their code, right? We would have to convince them in that case, right? Convincing them to give us redistribution, I don't think is the hard part. I think it's going to be to fix certain things, or you know, to do things, add like a different code path specifically for Wine, essentially. But we would have to identify what would be required for testing that. So I guess if there's anyone who's actually interested in like having affinity on Linux, right? I know there's like quite a lot of creative people in the Fyra Discord and such.
I thought Yuri would be definitely interested in this.
DM me and let's try to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into the next section, into the Terra section.
Next session.
I am very sorry I have to interrupt one more time.
Oh
Great
God.
start.
What? What do you do?
So, as many of you are aware, we had a thing Talos, right? So they go for so I don't think I've ever spoken about this publicly, but Talos is our concept for what a desktop, like a modern, how do I put it, a competitive Linux desktop should be, right? And ultimately, the goal of Ultramarine is to build up to the point that Talos has, or to the point that, to the ideas that we envision in Talos.
Yeah, it would be the
Talos.co.
web OS.
Talos.co for more info. Anyways, next question, or next section, Terra, right?
Oh boy, Terra time.
Terra, I'm
Yay.
tearing it.
Terrifying.
I'm touring it.
Oh, not that.
What?
So, this is an Owen question. How does one fund the Terra ARM build farm of presumably M-based Mac Minis? FFI and Discord.
Yeah. So
M series.
there aren't several. There's only two, and they're just M1 Mac Minis running Fedora Asahi server. And we obtained a grant from Works on ARM to pay for the hardware, and we currently co-locate them. And GitHub Sponsors pays for all the infra costs for the ARM cluster as well as other servers that we have.
Yeah. And then there's also money from other sources too. But
Yeah.
the infra costs are like completely covered by GitHub sponsors at this point.
Yeah.
And
if we
yes,
only had GitHub sponsors, we could maintain our current infra.
Yes, donate your Chromebit, please.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd
give
be
me your Chromebit. Send it to Thailand. I will use it wisely.
it's ARM32 Cappy, and it's only got a gig of RAM. It's like a Pi. It's like a Pi 1.
But
Or
we
Pi
expect
3.
to be doing more with Works and ARM in the future. So I guess stay tuned for that. Yeah. The
Next
Works and ARM,
question.
they're really amazing, I have to say. I have to glaze them a little bit here. They are very just too generous, honestly. Like I when they sent us that money to, get this set up, like I was quite
I
surprised.
thought they went broke. Or was it that
No,
other
it was
company?
Equinix Metal that went broke.
Oh, okay.
We used to have a huge ARM server on Equinix Metal, that Works on ARM paid for, but Equinix Metal shut down, so they gave us money to build our own
Yeah,
cluster.
they basically went broke and they said, no, we can't afford to give you this anymore.
It was sad because Equinix Metal was quite a good service for what it was.
Yeah.
Albeit I
That's
wasn't
really,
paying it.
really, really. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at least you can still rent a Kubernetes cluster in Equinix. That's the
I really miss the really the 64 core CPU or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was like it was 128, I'm pretty sure.
It was,
Oh,
it was 128 cores,
Ampere CPU, 64 each. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah, it
beautiful.
was
I kind of wish
crazy.
I
Yes,
kind of wish we
beast.
had our own ARM Neoverse chip, but man, that is
Yeah.
far fetched. Why not? Why? What do you mean what do you mean we don't want that?
What don't we want? I didn't even hear what Cappy said.
An ARM Ultra chip server,
What does that mean?
like a server rack that has like an actual ARM, like a ARM Neoverse chip. Yeah, the expensive ARM server.
How do I put? So
The Ampere Ultra, yeah.
We're working on things that we can't really disclose publicly right now.
Yeah, I wish I could say, but the cost might not be an issue, I guess you could say. For ARM specifically.
Yeah, but if causing an issue. Okay, well, you know what? Let's talk about it later.
Yeah.
Behind
Next
the
question.
Yeah.
Also, electricity here is very cheap. Like where we co-located, it's 15 cents a kilowatt hour, and it's not paid for by us. So that's it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anyways.
Hooray for nuclear power.
Oh, actually, this is an interesting question.
100%. Alany or from the
Alany.
thing?
So Alani in Discord asks, would you love to make Ultramarine optimized hardware with a partner? And yes,
I think we are
Very-
we all
trying.
want to.
Very much so.
Very
please.
much. Very
Yes.
much so.
Please
It would
call
be an
me.
AMD GPU.
Star Labs, call me. Okay, everyone in the call right now and watching on Twitch. Star Labs, I emailed them and was like, hey, can you put Ultramarine on your computers? And they're like, no, your community needs to ask for it. So please, everybody, beg Star Labs for Ultramarine on their computers. We want to do it with them. They just need you guys to ask for it. So please
Yes.
ask them for Ultramarine. They have no Fedora anything.
It's all
Yep.
Debian stuff.
Yeah, it's all Debian, and then
And
they
we
have
all know
Manjaro
Debian
too.
sucks.
They have Manjaro too, which is even worse.
Oh, Manjaro, hell no. Oh, I was gonna talk about Malibao.
Oh,
we
no.
don't want to get started on that. We don't want to get started on Malibao, man.
So a Molly ball. Okay.
They're gonna ban the entirety of Thailand.
I'm gonna put our stance on Molyball pretty simply. If they try to ship anything with Ultramarine, we will not hesitate to exercise our copyright on the logos and branding.
They will ban the state of
What the heck
Minnesota
is a
and the state of
Malibao?
Thailand.
That's
And the
all.
kingdom of
I don't.
Thailand, yeah.
Yes, no, it's currently copyright. We don't have a trademark yet. That's the problem.
What is a Malibao laptop? I just don't get it.
They are a manufacturer who went kind of crazy a couple months ago and was kind of terrible to a lot of the Corbu people.
They had a really big crash out with System 76.
Not with System 76. They had a big crash out with the Corbu community. I think they had one with System 76 a little bit, but with the Corbu community was the main thing.
Basically everyone.
To use their own words, they're zombies. They're not alive.
I mean, I don't want to be really offensive, but I mean, they're basically drop shippers. What do you expect?
Damn.
Yeah, as someone who personally knows Mr. Chromebox, I don't know how they had issues with him. He is just so nice.
They're drop shippers. They're drop shippers. All they care about is marking up prices, I guess.
Yeah. Next
Okay,
question.
probably
though.
next
Why
question.
enable internet access during a build, whereas it is disabled in upstream Fedora? This is a modded question, I think.
Motto in June.
There's no particular reason. It's just like it started from it started like that, so we just didn't revert.
Yeah, it started because I initially programmed it to be that way.
Yeah, and we kept it that way because
because we wanted to. The reason was that Diskit sucks. I don't want to use Diskit, so we don't have to download. You don't have to check out shit from Diskit to download source files and all that. That is basically the reason.
We have so many use cases internally now that relies on internet access during build and during pre. If that is not possible,
the other
then we need to write terrible pre-scripts. Oh yeah.
And the other reason is that the other reason is Go and Rust. Statically compiled languages, So the thing is, it's either us packaging every single Rust crate in existence, or enabling online access.
Yeah, I feel like packaging ready-made with the federal guidelines would be over.
The Rust, especially the Rust ecosystem, like the crate ecosystem, is not really amenable to how distro packaging is done.
Yeah, and what Fedora does is they basically package every single crate on crates.io.
Well, not on crates.io, just whatever is required for their purpose.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just.
But our approach is to just don't do that. Just download it directly on build file. Yeah. Fuck vendoring shit.
I find container packages list. Anyways, next section, Fyra in general. Interesting question. When someone visit Owen's basement, tree in Discord.
What
yeah,
does
so
Owen what does Owen have in his basement?
well, I think the
160
reason why
laptops?
you would want to visit my basement is because I have over 120 computers in there.
Okay,
Many
but
of them
you
are
have
Chromebooks.
what
Yeah,
are you
I'm
hiding
actually
things in
serious.
there?
No, because there's too many computers to hide anything. But
Damn.
yeah, I
Are
mean,
you
can
building
come
gay
visit. I
robots
don't
using
care.
computers?
No, I just have stacks and stacks of Chromebooks and ThinkPads and Surfaces and random funny laptops and some
I
normal
want to
ones
answer the
too.
question without Cappy interrupting. Also, like
And servers.
the win tree can visit.
Tree, I will visit. Tree, I will send you a Chromebook. No, I don't have 20 microwaves. Sorry. But yeah, if you want to come see my like basically a museum.
You don't
at this
need
point,
a microwave.
come and
There's
see.
just an oven.
Oven.
If there's an oven,
I
why do you
have-
need a microwave?
I don't. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I already have.
I should open a
oven
Chromebook because
PC.
that's very interesting.
I have an oven
They're
PC.
too precious for me.
I got another. Here we
I
go.
have a problem.
So I have more questions, or we should move on to the next question. So
Yes.
Okay. Let me just get that. Okay, here we go. What's a super distant goal that's so cool to Fyra but probably won't happen since it's so far away or unpredictable? Joner on Discord.
I can answer for about 3 of us, and
Okay.
it's 2 words or 3 words. Our own laptops.
Oh
Yes.
My God. Oh my God.
Yes.
Uh,
We need to make laptops.
Sorry, Nova. Just Nova going XR.
That
we
Oh,
all
oh,
really.
we really want to make laptops.
I mean, yeah, VR goggles are also cool. We should make also our we should also make our own
Is
VR
it really
goggles.
super distant? I thought XR is closer than I.
We should make
Yeah.
goggles.
The Fyra.
We should make
XR is
goggles
The
and
Fyra Vision
laptops.
Pro. Okay, it's like
Oh,
Yeah, the
God.
Fyra
Pro
Vision
with
Pro.
Fyra. Okay.
Yep. That's the goal. That was my goal.
Oh my God.
Like I think
can't
XR is
bring things up
closer
in
than
public.
Tau itself. Tau doesn't. I don't think Tau actually exists. Like the desktop
We are
itself.
copying.
The desktop itself doesn't even exist.
The desktop environment
Yes.
doesn't exist, but the libhelium and other stuff does exist, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but XR already exists, so
Okay.
it's closer than Tau in some way, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. I guess for me, hardware stuff would be so cool. Very, 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 very cool. Okay, Nova's going on about XRs. Fyra Suzy. Oh, okay, I can talk about Fyra Suzy's, okay? We are currently playing a game of tariffs. So, essentially,
They pulled it off. They already got rid of. They already lowered the tariffs. There's no more
lowered it.
like
So,
tariff.
okay. So we are
Yeah.
currently they didn't eliminate it though. But so what we are currently
It's
doing
30%
is that
tariff
there was a
now.
court or there was a hearing I think 2 days ago, I want to say, in the International Court of Trade. Hearing of whether to basically injunct, like to stop the tariffs temporarily or such, right? And there is like a decision expected to be handed by the end of this month. So we are looking forward to that first before placing, importing our boards from our manufacturer.
Yep. It's
we have a
either
question
that
from-
or cave into Trump and try to build our own factories, which is
Oh my God,
impossible.
Yes,
We're not doing that.
I have looked at manufacturing these in the U.S. It is like quite costly.
Yeah, it is
Who
impossible.
wants
It
to
is
pay
basically
$40 for a
impossible.
Suzy Q?
I mean, look, you could might as well be made out of gold at that point.
True.
To answer Alani from Discord chat's question, what do you think about a Mizuki? What do y'all think about a Mizuki figure that's similar in quality to Figma slash SH figure hearts?
Wait,
I want to do it, but that's any Mizuki plush merch standee is in the queue after the Mado Fumo.
The Mado Fumo?
The Mado
No
Fumo.
one told me about this.
We've been talking about it for months.
Fumo? Okay, so the
We're
motto
making the motto Fumo.
is gonna be like, you can buy motto, and like you can hug motto.
Holy
on
crap.
Sleep.
Half the proceeds go to Motto's bank account.
That is true.
Oh.
And then the other half goes to the KDE Foundation.
Man, what the hell?
ADEEV, get it right.
You're saying this like I'm representing KE or something. You're just
Why
saying
don't
this
I
like
get my
I'm
own
the
plush?
KE
Why
monster.
don't I get my own plush too?
Because Motto, he's so silly.
Motto just looks
Oh,
Motto just looks too silly.
that's unfair.
Yeah, and too cuddly. It's like I don't know.
Motto is my sleep paralysis demon.
No.
I see him in the corner of my room when I'm sleep paralyzed.
This is
And
true.
he's like,
I'm not
he's like
commenting
a
on this.
flat
I'm
piece
not
of
commenting on
paper,
this.
and he flips back and forth and says, "Review my PR."
Paper Mario ass motto.
Yeah. Nova is also a sleep paralysis demon. There's a whole like,
unfortunately.
it's a long fucking story.
Yeah, you have some weird sleep stuff going on, but
I think you might want to see a therapist.
yeah.
If
I
you
do
see
see a
if you see a
therapist.
floating paper model around your house when you're having sleep paralysis, please consult a psychiatrist or something.
Yeah,
therapist thinks it's very
please
weird.
get some help. But I mean, it's America. If you ask for help, you get charged like $5 million for that. So
Oh yeah,
if
therapy's
it's
crazy
fair.
expensive.
If you take Fyra branded HRT, okay, then you will see motto. That's one of the major side effects is motto.
Motto.
The motto perk. Okay, but what about the motto perk?
True.
Okay, let's move on to the next
there's-
question, unless someone has anything else to say.
To
Okay,
wrap this
yeah,
up-
this
to-
is getting out of hand.
To wrap this up, though, there are a lot of things. I could go on about this, honestly, about the stuff we want to do. But
We could make
it
the
would be-
5 hour
it
stream.
would be too long. Maybe that will be a different time. We do like to dream big, though. I think it's been working so far.
Next question.
Oh, okay, this is fun. This is a great one.
That's for you. That's a you question.
That is a great one, actually.
Yeah, okay, I don't have to change this. So, who's an underrated member of the Fear team / associates? Well, okay, first of all, Motto. Motto has done so much, thanklessly, right? Especially when he was basically the only maintainer in Terra for a bit. And luckily, the community has grown, there's been like much more, involvement there, but Motto did a lot for Terra. Aiko, another one. Like, have you seen the art? Like, what was it? I forget which release it was. Kuma, right?
Foresty.
Yes, Foresty.
Yeah, 39.
Yeah, I had to wrangle him for that.
That was honest. Like, I've talked about multiple times of how I want to have the merch store, like, be able to get posters, like metal posters of that from the merch store. That wallpaper was so good. All the wallpapers Aiko makes are just so good. There's just a very Aiko feeling to it.
Okay, but have you considered the amount of effort I have to go through to wrangle Aiko into doing those wallpapers?
It's worth it.
Oh man.
Aiko could paint my walls.
I
Okay?
have to wrangle him. I have to fucking wrangle him because he keeps getting distracted because he keeps he maintains a Balatro mod, right? And and I have to wrangle him to like, no, stop writing Balatro mod. You have work to do. And he's like, no, I want to play Balatro. And Aiko's like, no, I want to play Balatro. Balatro is my life. Balatro. I love Balatro.
No, I understand it. I like Balatro too.
Yeah, but he's a maintainer. That makes it worse. He's actually a well-known figure in the Balatro community because he's like one of the biggest modders in the Balatro community.
Wow.
He made one of the biggest mods. Like second to like Cryptid, I think that was Aiko's mod. The mod's like second biggest to Cryptid.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have some
Yeah.
more things underappreciated. Wyeth. has been here. As Wife has called himself before, he's the plumber. Not literally.
What?
Yes, because whenever major shit happens, like major bad shit happens, Wife is usually there to help fix it with us. Albeit major shit hasn't happened in a while, so I'm glad about that personally. Wife has also just been there to advise on strategy quite a lot, and you know, it's quite, you don't see him because he's not like, he doesn't talk in the chats really, but he helps a lot behind the scenes. Another person.
Last time we spoke was months ago.
God, I feel so bad because I forget his actual name, but STDN.
Is that the web dev?
No. I have no idea.
Which one? Like, what do they do?
Trovo?
Not Trovo. You see, nobody remembers their name. That's how underappreciated that's how underrated they are. Okay, this has to change.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
The Japanese person, the person in Japan.
Oh, it's Toru.
Oh, thank you, Toru. So I'm Addison's laughing at me right now.
I forgot that Toru existed.
I'm so sorry, Toru. Toru has.
They maintained all of our infra for years.
Yeah, without like our not our current infra, but like for a long time they've maintained our previous infra, literally without saying anything in the Discord. Would just like SSH shit and like just do shit. Like it was quite odd for a while, but you know.
He used to maintain like lots of old Ultramarine infra before we migrated to our new infra, and you know how he got those infra? Low spec, like a what's it forum called again? Low spec something? I don't remember.
No, low end.
Yeah, he all he did was go on those forums and beg for new servers.
Low end talk is certainly a place.
Yeah, low end talk. Yeah.
Low end talk. Addison has a lot of experience on low end talk, I think.
Yeah. The way he gets the infra is through low end talk. It's crazy. It's a crazy story, I tell you.
Yeah. Anyways, next. How does one? Okay, this is a funny one. Okay,
this is one for me.
Yep. Give me 1 second. So, how does one become a corpo kitty?
Okay, so this role has a really funny story. I don't remember why we created it, but we created it at the beginning for some reason. And we just give it to our close friends and to people who say really funny things in the server. So the written rule for it is you have to be a real one, a true G, or a close friend of the team.
Yeah. Next. Yes, you can give her the role.
Corpo Kitty. Oh yeah, you need Corpo Kitty. Yes. Why doesn't Addison have already?
I don't know why.
Yeah, but
Neil should have it too. This is a very good question. This is actually very good. Do you all
doesn't the role doesn't actually get you anything special? It just it's just there.
Do you all wear lab coats and cat ears while working? Siam Preta in Discord.
No, Layla.
I wish.
No.
I wish.
We already.
I wear cat
we are cats. We are cats, so we have cat ears already. We don't need to wear cat ears.
I am not a cat. I'm a fox.
Okay,
but
whatever.
Yes, I wish.
No, Owen's not a cat, so we have to.
I'm in my pajamas all the time.
Because I already have. Like, why would I wear cat ears if I already have actual cat ears? You know what I mean?
It's like the Brody podcast. Somebody in the comments on the Brody podcast you were on, I was like, "Why do the cat girls have 2 ears?" And you responded, "I got the Dolby Atmos in my head."
What? You got the quadraphonic sound.
Look, it really helps with hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
I need 4 earbuds though.
Oh, that was
Now,
good.
this one is a serious question.
Oh yeah, it is. This one's from Kyo
I'll
on
answer
the
this
Discord.
one. This is Kyo on the Discord. Is how it's gonna happen, or is it canceled? It's going to happen, but it depends what you mean. So, TAOS is, again, as I mentioned before, it's sort of our end goal or end game of what the Linux desktop should be, what it would be to be competitive, and in my mind, superior to Windows and Mac OS for the everyday user. There's a lot of coughing going on the fish side, but
I don't know, fish cough.
well, they cough in the in the air because they're drowning. You know what I mean?
But then she swims through the air and she's just fine.
Suffocating from the air, not drowning. Drowning in air. That's a new one. But no, it's our end goal, and the idea is that Ultramarine is going to work up to that point, right? So we're building stuff in Ultramarine, for example, like Ready-Made and Titan, and those are components which would normally be in Tau, but are in Ultramarine. So you can think of Tau as like the concept that we're building up to, the concept of a plan.
Yeah.
We're getting
And
yes, it is the concept that we are building up Ultramarine to, and it is ultimately our North Star in that way.
yeah. And if you wanna ask me about the pros of TaoOS, I am still quietly working on the UI side of Tao. Quietly, just slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because TaOS
Yeah.
will cause the error of the Linux desktop. Exactly. So it'll never happen.
Oh.
So it'll never happen.
It'll-
Thank you, Tree.
Oh, I love that. Oh, this
Yeah.
is an interesting question here.
Okay. Are Fyra Labs team members in reality just a corporate disguise for a queer femme polykeel? FFI on Discord. And Addison is giving me the smirk right now.
No.
It would be
No?
crazy if it was, but it's not.
Okay. My notes say, shockingly enough, no.
Yeah, it's true.
Next question.
It would be
You move on.
It
That
would
was
be
a weird
crazy
one.
though.
No, we're not
Addison,
doing an
stop shaking
FTX,
your
guys.
head.
That would not be crazy. We're not.
Shake
We're not
no.
doing an FTX, guys. I don't want to go to
No,
prison.
no.
The Bahama. We're gonna get a house in the Bahama Islands.
The way, you know, initially when we merged with when we merged with Ultramarine, when Ultramarine merged with Fyra, I thought you guys were like FTX.
No,
No.
we are not FTX. Shockingly,
Actually,
a lot of
next
people
question.
ask me about this.
I'm like, okay, albeit I am 2 degrees separation from SBF, so don't talk
Hey,
to me.
You should
Don't
probably
make
not
fun
bring
of
that
my
up in
brother.
public.
I probably shouldn't
As
have.
your
No
lawyer, I'm
FYIs.
advising you to stop talking.
Okay.
Yeah, you should not be saying that shit.
Okay, next question. Okay, next
Next
question.
question. Move on. This is a question for everyone.
Okay.
Oh man.
Our normal.
Everybody's going crazy now. Okay.
That's because that's a really weird question.
This question might have a pretty
You
long
see, I didn't
answer,
understand
so,
a single bit of the conversation.
Good.
This question's for everyone. Leah, do you want to read it?
How did you
And everyone
look
keep
at
your answers under
decoding
2 minutes.
Linux and open source projects? Also combine in... Oh. Tell me about your beginnings from death on
Okay.
Discord. Or,
Okay,
no, sorry,
so-
not from death, from Cowroll. Oh, no, this one's from death and this one's from Cowroll. Okay.
Can I go first because I have a really long answer to this.
Okay.
You go first. Keep your answer under 2 minutes.
gonna
I'm
get
watching.
us-
So yeah, my answer is pretty long because my first step into open source and Linux was actually a YouTube channel called OS First Timers. You know the guy called Austin. or something. I don't remember his name.
Addison is
And his
currently
mom.
going
Yeah,
crazy.
same here, kinda.
She's so happy right now. You know I can
Yeah,
talk,
yeah,
Addison.
No, I mean that YouTube channel called OS First Timer. Yeah. So, you know, I
remember watching
discovered
them back in the
that
day.
channel back in like 2013, 2014, and then I decided, hey, you know what? Fuck it, try Linux. Let's try Linux. And I got so I tried burning a copy of Ubuntu 14.4. It was a badly burned copy. And I still have a pic of that CD of that DVD. Can anyone bring up that image? I have it in the notes.
Oh yes, I'll.
But don't bring up the notes on stream.
No,
put
don't
it
bring up
on-
the note. Just bring up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
image.
no, I'll put it
You
on the
can
chat. I'll send it in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
I don't think anyone will ever remembers Ubuntu. Was it Ubuntu?
Yeah. So this is I still have this DVD to this day. It's a really badly burned copy of Ubuntu 14.04. It's this is
Ubuntu
how I started
14.04.
using Linux. Okay. This one didn't even boot. I had to install Ubuntu GNOME instead. So yeah, I tried it for a bit and I just gave up on it. Then fast forward to something like 2020. That was when COVID happened, right? I got into Linux again because Windows 11. And I worked on I was working on GPU pass-through VFIO for Linux. It was not a great time because Nvidia moment. But yeah, that is how I got into Linux development. And for Ultramarine, a certain Indonesian guy, hey Mo, where the fuck is he? I mean, he's probably gone. But yeah,
He never
Mo,
shows up to anything.
Mo
Yeah.
is my favorite Indonesian guy.
but Mo basically started Fedora. Me and Mo started Fedora together. No. Me and Mo started Ultramarine together.
You
Sorry,
started Fedora?
I meant me and Mo started Ultramarine together. Okay, me
Damn.
and Mo.
Okay. My story
Fedora
of
founder.
getting started is pretty public. About 9 years ago, Christmas of 2016, I got a Raspberry Pi 3 as a gift. I used it for a couple of years as my only computer. 2020-ish, I got into the Ubuntu ecosystem, did a little stuff there, got sucked over to Rizzy OS. Then eventually ended up working with Leah on unrelated projects, and we founded Fyra, and then acquired Ultramarine.
Yeah.
That was about 3 years ago now.
I guess my story is that so my first computer I got when I was pretty young. It was an old ass Mac Mini with a Intel Core Duo chip and like fucking 4 or 8 gigs of RAM. That was my first, system. I started playing because it was Mac OS. I was sort of curious about all of the, I guess, the Unixy sort of stuff in Mac OS kind of drew me in. And I just started tinkering with that. Eventually, I would try out like Ubuntu. This is specifically how I got into Linux. I tried Ubuntu on I think it was I don't remember. It was some Mac Mini, and it was kind of hell because.
Oh, that was your Surface Pro.
No, I tried out Ubuntu before that. It was some Mac Mini, and it was kind of hell. Like I wanted to run like a couple like services on it, but some of the Intel Macs are kind of weird, and I guess I started tinkering with Linux stuff ever since then, and then programming specifically. I think I started programming like ever since I got my that first computer. Yeah.
Right, next.
Wait,
Motto?
I didn't
Hi.
answer that.
Or one of them?
Oh, Motto can go first. I thought you were going on to the next question. Sorry.
I think I got my first computer on when I was 13 around, and then I also watched OS First Time, by the way.
We all
I
watched OS
think
First
I
Timer.
think many people actually just have probably come from OS First Timer to Linux. I think
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
I have an admission to make.
And then-
Okay. I've never heard of this
Yeah.
before. I've never heard of this dude before.
Oh, Lord.
Addison is flipping me off now. What the
I'm
hell?
giving you the finger too. I have a question for you later about old computer videos.
Oh no.
Um,
I'm so scared.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
get my ass beat.
and I think I tried out Ubuntu first, and then I tried out Pop, and then I tried out Manjaro, and I tried out Arch because I don't like Manjaro. I think I tried out like Pop OS and Ubuntu obviously is GNOME, and then I tried out Manjaro XFCE, and then it's just KDE Arch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then fun fact, I didn't like back then that I was still working on Ultramarine stuff. I was still using Arch. Big betray.
Yeah. Any other?
So yeah.
Anything else?
June and Owen, I want to hear their. I want to hear June and Owen. I'm really curious about. I want to hear Owen's again. I've heard it a million times.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, this question is just asking about Linux and stuff like that and open source projects, but I've been into tech and hardware and Apple and stuff like that for a while. But I specifically got into Linux and open source when Jade kept pressuring me to try and use Linux because she would rave about it all the time.
Many
And I
such
was like,
cases.
oh, I don't know. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I'm pretty locked into like the IT world right now, but maybe I'll see.
The
And
Windows IT
then
world.
eventually, yeah, so then eventually she got me to dual boot it on my main like Razer Blade gaming laptop that I had. And I was using it and I was like, huh, this is actually kind of fun. And like Fyra Labs like runs this distro, so that's cool, right? So I immediately just got into like tinkering with it and like learning all about like our build systems and how it all works and stuff like that. And yeah, now I'm here.
Owen was working for us before he started using Ultramarine. He was doing unrelated to Linux things before
Yeah,
he started using it.
Yeah, he was the Windows guy.
No, he was our video editor. We hired him as
I
our
did
video
video
editor.
editing and production
Oh,
and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
I was here for a while, but like Linux was not like he was not using Linux at the time.
Yeah.
I'll hit back then.
June?
Owen was the biggest betrayal.
We need to hear from June, and then I have 2 questions about everyone's history.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm here.
Fish.
Sorry I haven't talked much. I've kind of been like painting sort of. This has been a thing for a few days now, but I'm awake now. Anyway, so how I got into programming was originally like trying to remember the order of things because it was so long ago. Sometime in elementary school, I got into like iOS like jailbreaking. Was how I got into like tinkering with computers at all. I wrote like jailbreak tweaks and stuff like that. I think prior to then, I had done something related to robotics in like a summer camp type thing, but I wasn't super interested in it. I was more into the like other stuff that I did, like the jailbreaking, and then I think I got Leo was kind of the one who got me into more of the like, for lack of a better term, like kind of corporate type software development. Like I remember.
Oh my god.
Like, okay, prior to knowing Leah in like middle school, I guess, I mostly worked on more useless things that were like kind of silly. But then Leah kind of dragged me into making like what was that thing we did in like 8th grade, like some fake payment app.
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So those were kind of the more like realistic projects that made me like a better programmer and like actually interested in that kind of thing. Linux stuff was, I forget exactly how that happened. I think a lot of the process of this was me dragging Leah along to stupid things and Leah dragging me along to other stupid things.
Yeah, that is very
Like
funny.
like the Linux thing, like we had Linux running on servers at very like for like we tried to do like Minecraft server hosting at one point. So of course we were using Linux on the servers, but I didn't really have hardware that was capable of running Linux on like hardware on like desktop because I only had like a MacBook that really hated having Linux on it, or Linux really hated the Mac hardware. But I think I started daily driving Linux when I like built a desktop eventually at some point. That was probably around COVID. But I mean, I still had it in VMs and stuff, and I had like an older laptop I had Linux on that I would like play around with. Actually, playing around with it on like the older machine was kind of how I was like, yeah, I would much rather use this than Mac OS. So, that was kind of what like drove me to it. And then I think when I became more of like a Linux diehard, I forget. I know Leah definitely. I remember we both were using Linux on servers, but I think I was the one who forced you to use it on desktop at some
That is
point.
very true.
Like
I actually remember
I
that.
significantly, yeah, I remember harassing you about this for a very long time because
Oh,
I think at some point I was using Linux on desktop and you were still using Mac OS. Or was it? Yeah, it was Mac OS.
yeah.
And you were like kvetching about like the handoff with the iPhone and everything. And I was like, who cares? Who uses this?
I mean, I still use it, so.
I use that still.
What?
I use it, but I
That's
only
not
have
a
one Mac.
people.
Or that's a lie. I have
Not
two
on a
Macs.
Mac. I use it on my iPad.
No, that's stupid. Who cares? Anyway,
Yes.
so I harassed Leah about that for a while. So I'd like to claim some credit for her using Linux on
Okay, you
desktop.
can claim credit. Yeah, for me using Linux on the desktop. The year of the Leo Linux desktop.
Okay, I have one more question about this subject, and then we should really move on to the next one. What was
Also,
everybody's
a
first
timer
distro?
too. Yes.
What was everyone's first distro? Mine was Ubuntu Mate on the Pi 3.
Mine was Ubuntu
Ubuntu.
GNOME. Ubuntu GNOME. I like the one with GNOME free.
I think mine was Ubuntu
Wow.
14.04, like proper, not GNOME.
Right, it wasn't.
Mine was 1604.
Ubuntu
It was
GNOME is what
Ubuntu,
made
but
me I had GNOME
daily
there.
drove it.
it wasn't
Oh.
known. It was Ubuntu, but I don't know it was
it Unity?
known or not. I don't even remember. I don't think it was known because
was
the
Unity,
UI looks
probably.
different. It's probably something else. I don't.
My first distro, you guys have probably never heard of this. It was called Ultramarine Linux.
That's fucking crazy.
You actually
right?
converted
What the
from
heck is
Fedora,
Ultramarine
I
Linux?
think.
We did convert from Fedora, but that was just for the install. I never actually like touched Fedora.
Damn.
I never touched
Okay,
Fedora 2.
We got to get on to the next question
Red
because we've
Hat
been
Linux
running.
6.2. That's crazy.
Red Hat
wow.
6.2.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Ow.
Yeah,
No,
I
not even
forgot.
RHEL, just straight up
I-
Red Hat 6. Not RHEL.
How long
Just
ago was that?
RHL. No E.
I did not expect that to be on Neil's first distro.
Yeah.
Or actually, did you start using Linux when you were a teenager, Neil?
Oh, Joseph is here too.
Oh my god, Joseph from Fedora. Hi, Joseph. Good to see you.
But yes, I love GNOME.
Seems like we all started on when you were not okay. You started really early. I was like, that seems a little bit young, but then I was like, that seems a little bit far back. I didn't think you were that old, and then
Wow.
you were 9. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's okay. I started gaming at 4.
All right, next
Also,
question because
favorite
we've been on this
distro.
one for too long.
Favorite distro.
Okay.
Ultramarine.
I'll
Move
answer
on. Next
this
question.
one. What was the process of founding Fyra Labs like? I guess this is just more. So, I guess I could. There's multiple ways I can interpret this question. The first one is one of them is probably not the answer you're looking for. I filed documents to make Fyra Labs an LLC, right?
That was
Yeah.
That's all. Lots of paperwork, lots of legal, domain buying, socials, that type of thing. No, process founding. Okay, so I have to keep this one short, and honestly, I think we should have like some kind of video where I just describe like the entire story, the backstory of Fyra Labs. Okay, but essentially,
it's actually in the graveyard. If you look in the graveyard repository, the graveyard organization on GitHub, that actually has the story in it.
You can drop questions here. We had like a Discord post before, but that was for advanced questions. But
You can ask questions in chat and we'll get to them.
yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, I have to make this story short, honestly. The TLDR of it all is we were a group of people that were already doing stuff, right? There were some division that happened. I don't want to be too specific. Fyra Labs, we created Fyra Labs in just like a basic jump, right? And our goal was to basically create. We wanted to the reason why I guess I should add context there. The reason why that the split happened in the first place was because we had differing stances on open source. So some of the other people that we were, in the group, making shit with, right, wanted some of the stuff to be proprietary. We didn't want that. So therefore, Fyra Labs happened. We set up like a very shitty homepage in like a day.
It was really bad. If you go back and watch the Brody podcast,
got
you'll see it. It
domains,
was
got
really bad.
socials. Yeah, there's on the Brody podcast has it.
It's bad. It was really ugly.
It's bad. I think a good way to summarize this whole thing was that it's basically what happened with Intel back in the day. I think.
Yeah, and so before that we were working basically. I don't know if you guys have heard of Revolt, but you could think of it as basically kind of similar to Revolt.
Yeah.
You are not comparing yourself to Intel Sob. Yeah, exactly. We have to give ourselves more credit than that.
Okay, next question.
I'm sorry, just look at Intel nowadays, okay?
We're about to enter
I mean, I'm comparing I'm comparing it like back in like this Intel in 60s. What do you mean?
Okay.
We're heading towards hour 3 here, so we should next question.
Okay, fine.
I mean hour 2.
No, this will be hour 3 because we started at 6 o'clock and it's now 7:50.
Oh, you mean like you're going by numbers?
No.
Okay, well,
We'll be entering hour number 3.
Next question. Would it be possible to replace the key in depth charge so Fyra's code could be verified? This would be a much less scary solution for people who don't want to replace their whole BIOS. From Leah, not me, in Discord for Owen.
Oh, this is for me.
Yeah.
Yes. This is possible, I'm pretty sure, but we haven't done it yet.
It requires patching the firmware, and it's effectively the same as doing as installing core boot risk-wise. So you should just install core boot.
Yeah, I mean, like the point here is to not modify anything and just install something. If you want to go in and modify stuff, you should just install the UEFI core boot.
Yeah. Significantly less risk. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Our tree's probably going to speak on this. You still need to disable write protect. Yes. Which is...
Oh yeah, that's like the whole point of using Submarine is to not disable write protect, right? And you just enable developer mode. So like, if you do want to have to change the firmware in some way, there's not really a point to just not using the UEFI core boot load. But like, I guess it's possible if you want to do it.
I mean, it would be less invasive. It would be less invasive than replacing the firmware. I guess. I don't know.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
I mean, patching the firmware.
We should move to the next question
still...
here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're moving into the next section, the text section, and then the miscellaneous section after that. So, yeah, could you read the next question?
Yeah, sure. So this is the text section. Okay, let me just put in the question on the text document. So favorite UI environment, any DE or WM with your customizations of choice for use in personal computers from FFI in
Katie.
Oh my
God. GNOME.
Oh my God.
It's always GNOME.
They're asking about a specific UI customization. So name a customization on KDE that you use.
App indicators on GNOME.
That's it. On GNOME, I like to try to use Pop Shell, but I don't use it enough. But so my favorite is Dash to Dock.
Okay. I have to I have to admit, okay, it's not an Ultramarine edition, but, or I should say, currently my favorite environment, it's hard to say. I use like a modified, like a customized GNOME at the moment, but I also like KDE as well. But in my entire lifetime of using Linux, right? I hate Awesome WM was my favorite window manager. I
Oh my god.
What do you mean? Oh my god! It was
Oh
so.
my god. Oh, are we posting desktop setups?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You can post your desktop setups if you want. Awesome WM was such a great window manager. Just if you don't know, Awesome WM is you took a Lua interpreter and you threw it into a window manager, and you could basically you could build widgets and modify everything. Right? It was super customizable. Like you could build an entire fucking desktop environment on Awesome if you wanted to. I used Elena Pan's configs, which were quite popular as a base, and they were very pretty. However, the reason why I'm not using Awesome WM anymore is because it's dead, mostly dead, and it doesn't support Wayland. So
Awesome exists. Yes.
yeah.
Oh, fuck! I'm in Sway.
Wait, what is this? Let me look. West
But
End.
yes,
Oh,
my
that is really cool.
my setup is literally just GNOME with app indicators, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Guys,
nearly
you,
stock.
you see, I literally did no customization on my system. I think
Yeah.
I cannot think of one customization.
Vanilla
I'm
KDE,
literally
okay.
using stock Ultramarine KDE.
Yeah. Wow, this is actually really cool. Thank you for sending this to me. I would have not known, but we might have Awesome WM from the grave in Weston. Return
Okay.
from the grave.
What?
This
Wait, what?
They're putting
everyone who
look at
wants
the-
to answer it answered, so we can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm going to. Oh, this is a question for me. Apparently. Okay, that's fun.
Yes. It's like
More
Christmas. You have to.
permissive or
You're like,
more
oh, it's for
liberal?
me.
Yeah, more permissive or more Libre licenses. It depends. In my perfect world, okay, I copy left all the way, make everything fucking GPL, okay? However, we don't live in that world, unfortunately.
AGPL.
AGPL, no, make everything AGPL. Make it AGPL. GPL will be the only valid license anymore, okay? No more. No more MIT. No more copy free. No. No, but I guess in the real world, okay? So how we license stuff is pretty simple. For end user programs, GPL or AGPL if it's like a web service, right? Actually, when I mean end user, it's a program you're consuming, not a library. For libraries, we try to either use LGPL if it's able to be statically or able to be dynamically linked, or MIT if it's like a JavaScript library and you have to bundle it and shit.
All right. Any more discourse, or should we move on to the next one?
MPL. Actually, MPL might not be. Yeah, I have not really used MPL much, but MPL is also great for Rust. Go.
MPL is underrated for reasons.
Yeah.
We really should try it out.
Personally, MIT for everything, so the corporals can contribute or use them. But we don't live in that world.
Yeah, I think my sort of thing is that GPL, AGPL, and then honestly, if we could get rid of our MIT stuff, or if we could relicense our MIT stuff as MPL, that would be kind of cool. But besides the point, I keep forgetting that MPL exists.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should just switch everything to MPL, like find and replace MIT, and then just.
I'd replace MIT.
I still remember some. I still see some software still being licensed under Creative Commons. It's crazy.
I swear.
I hate people who do that. Okay.
People do
Final
that,
section.
yes.
We have the miscellaneous section with random questions that have nothing to do with Fyra or tech.
Oh boy, this is interesting.
Leah, can I moderate this section?
You want to moderate?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Question from Sandalwood, our good friend Sandalwood in the Discord. What's your favorite type of curry? Japanese, Korean, Kerala, Thai, etc. Everyone can answer this.
There is more than one Thai curry.
Yes, that is true.
And what's your favorite Thai curry?
Me?
Yes.
Penang.
Okay. I'm a big fan of Japanese curry.
Yes.
I also really like.
I am a very big fan of Japanese curry too. I like it more than Thai curry. But yes, there are more than one Thai curry. There's Masaman curry. There's
like
green
Masaman.
curry. There's whatever the fuck curry. There's I don't want to list all of them. But yes,
there's a lot of them.
there's more than one Thai curry.
Yeah. My favorite type of Japanese has to be. It's how I put it. It is very comforting. Like just it leaves sort of just a warm feeling in your heart after you eat it. And it's like even for people who are generally picky, it is like essentially like almost universally loved. Like Addison, for example, is very fucking picky. No hate. But really enjoyed having Japanese curry. Indian curry is also pretty good too, but Japanese, like, you could be sick of it essentially.
I gotta glaze any of the Thai curries with coconut or with coconut milk in them. I love all of the Thai curries with coconut milk in them. They're so good.
Yeah, Nova, because you didn't want to. Or actually, I don't remember what happened with Japanese curry, but
you didn't even take me to Coco when I was in LA. SMH.
Okay, I will next time. Okay.
Okay. Everyone who wants to answer. June and Owen.
I think I like. I haven't really tried that many types of curry. I like Japanese curry, because I've had that like most recently, and I remember liking it. I think I had some type of Indian curry at one point that I don't know the name of at a restaurant back home that was very good. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
I don't know like specific types of curry, but I've been a fan of Indian and Japanese curries that I've had.
I like Masaman curry too, Cappy. That shit's good. I've had it once. It's delicious.
Okay, but yeah, that is like the spiciest one of all.
Yeah, that's why it's good. Okay,
Yeah,
next
okay.
question. Can I pat Jade? Asks Leah in the Discord. Not this Leah. Yes, you can pat me. Come to the Twin Cities. For everyone, how do y'all not burn out?
Okay, Jade. I
We
think it'd
do.
be better if I moderate.
We do.
So I can actually.
We do burn out. That is why I have not been doing anything meaningful in the past couple of weeks because I've been, I have been mingling with Keanu Reeves, Shadow Keanu specifically.
Yeah.
I have
Joseph,
been I
Joseph
am
asked
being
if you all
haunted
work
by a
full-time.
ghost of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So-
Joseph,
Everywhere.
some of us work full time. Some of us are full time students. A lot of us work full time for Fyra. But everyone will have to answer that themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a full time.
Yeah, for me personally, I think burning out is how to put it. It's a fact of life, and it's a fact of doing it. I know people have said like, oh, well, if you're doing something you really love, right, you won't burn out. That's not true. At least for me.
That's not true.
Yeah,
That is definitely not true.
not at all.
Because
yeah, you burn. Yes,
That is
exactly,
true,
you burn out
maybe
faster,
for me.
actually.
Exactly. That's right, Neil. You're right. You're completely right.
Honestly, the major burnout factor for me is like if I'm the only one working, I burn out faster, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
for me, it's
Like,
it's
otherwise,
the lack
if
of
like
communication.
if there are people around me working, I don't think I will burn out because like
yeah. I think
Yeah,
like I have
helps with
even
what helps with burnout for me personally is as Mama mentioned, working with other people and having those other people hold you accountable, right? That's one thing. And also essentially be there to support you if, you are starting to feel burned out because you don't want to be in a situation where like you're the only one carrying this like project to completion, for example, right? Even if you love doing it, that's never a good situation to be in. So there's a lot of different ways, but having a good team really helps with burnout, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can answer for me. I've basically been continuously burnt out for like 2 years. That's not entirely true, but yeah. I think like I have moments of not being burnt out in between the majority of burnt out, which is like when I'm like most productive for Fiora usually. But I've like kind of been on like semi hiatus for a
Yeah.
while because I've been like trying to manage college on top of like yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have an interesting thing to bring up. Uh, so for the past 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I've been like super hard working on finals, and now that I'm done, all I want to do is work on Fira, and I think that that's kind of interesting that when you burn out on something that you hate doing, you really want to do the thing you love doing.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean that's kind of how Ultramarine started, to be honest. I really hated school. So I started working on Ultramarine and then I got burned out and then yeah, Fyra
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah,
What was
no, the fact that
ultimately
Asahi
cool?
Ultramarine images have been worked on at all is because I got done with finals and was like, oh wait, I
Yeah.
can do things.
Yeah.
This is why I'm working on Pi right now.
I think most people don't actually know, but you know, I have been working Ultramarine like I've been working Ultramarine like straight in school back in like 2023. Like no, like yeah. No school. I just straight up pulled out my iPad, work on Ultramarine, right in class. I don't know why my teachers just don't tell me to fuck off. But
I
yeah.
did a lot of my coolest, most
Depression.
awesome
Because
Ultramarine moments were
depression.
in class. Like
Yeah,
I
and I
have
also have major depression back then.
you can show me any classroom at my high school and I can tell you something I did for Fira Ultramarine in that classroom.
Me too.
Yeah. I guess one other thing I wanted to say about this is that, yeah, just to reiterate, when you're running like any sort of project, you have to first you have to expect that burnout's going to happen, and you have to plan for it. Um, Another thing is that honestly, having people like this, it's kind of odd, but just having people in the community, right? Just even like saying that they really like using Ultramarine, right? Which has happened. Honestly, just it provides a lot of motivation. So,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people, as there's like sort of a weird relationship, especially in open source, especially when we're talking about like libraries, for example, and especially in a certain web ecosystem, where it's almost parasitic in the sense that you'll have these people thanklessly like maintaining these and producing these libraries, right? And they're like, you know, always on the verge of burnout, while like sort of you have like people who are working like making six figs at like FANG companies that are consuming these like libraries and somehow not even just being disengaged with the maintainers, but actively spiting them, and acting like they are quite entitled to their time without showing any kind of appreciation. And I think being in that situation would probably lead you to burn out much more. So honestly, having such a supportive community like we do has helped me not burn out that quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I sent I sent one of the reasons my burnout in chat. So I
Yeah.
guess yeah, it's just NixOS people. NixOS elite is just telling me like, why are you working on Ultramarine when you can work on Nix packages instead? Like what the hell?
The Nix, how do I put this?
It's a
I'm
problem
not
in the
speak.
Linux ecosystem generally.
Yeah, no, the Linux ecosystem. I think Fira is a great place. Our community is quite great, but the broader Linux ecosystem can generally be quite toxic, depending on which parts
Yeah,
you're on.
I that I interact with a lot of those toxic people, and yeah, they just tell me to like, why not work on Nix packages or AUR, and
Honestly,
why work
like
on
I think
Ultramarine?
like Fear is
There is
surprisingly
no
safe.
yeah, they just keep
Like if you look at Fedora, it's not. It's like Just look at Fedora. Fedora is already pretty toxic. I can't imagine like other communities.
Nah, yeah, it's
Noel's gonna have
Fedora.
thoughts on this.
Yeah. The issue is that I just happen to interact with a lot of Arch elitist
Or I should
and
say,
Nix
like,
elitist.
like to comment on the Fedora toxicity thing, it's how to put this. Everybody who's, I guess, been like a vet in the project or like actually in leadership has been quite friendly. However, there are certain contributors that we've had like that have been like incredibly toxic out of nowhere. And it's, you know,
The like super long-term contributors like
It's
Neil and the
hardening.
super high ups at Fedora, like Matthew has been nothing but lovely to us for the past his term since we founded Fyra. Actually, Matthew Miller,
Yeah.
former Fedora project lead, has been nothing but amazing to us. And then people like Joseph who just come into our community and ask how they can help. People like that are really lovely, and I know that we may see some toxic people, but I do want to get across how lovely the Fedora ecosystem is and how many great people there are in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
I
like,
can list 2 people in the Fedora community, but I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say who.
but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Adam Williamson too is just Adam Williamson. I love that guy. He just has his head down. He tests things. He makes them work. I love that guy. He's so nice.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna also say, yeah, and I think like what Cappy was saying about Arch and Nix packages specifically, right? There are certain, how do I put this? I guess I'm gonna call this sort of enthusiast distros, okay? And because they are
Yeah,
the
and
enthusiast
they-
distros,
they-
they attract a certain type of person. And I'm not saying everybody in those communities are bad, but they attract certain type of people more than other distros would, and other communities would. And because of that, you end up with sort of the meme of Arch and NixOS elitism, like that. And
Yeah,
it is quite
it's yeah. And they
We sh-
basically just dishearten me a lot. They discourage me on like working on Ultramarine because hey, why work on Ultramarine when you can work on this meme distro on /G?
All right, we should probably get moving on to the next question. We only have a couple left.
Yeah, meme distro. That's crazy, dog. Yeah, no. We eventually, like, in those cases, Joseph, in those cases, we eventually worked it out, like, directly. But, I will definitely keep that in mind if it ever happens again. Okay. What are you posting, Layla?
It's okay.
Might need moderation.
Like I was saying when I started glazing, Fedora has been a really welcoming place, and it was really exemplified when we were at Flock last year. Just people kind of recognized us, but once they like knew who we were, they just talked, and everyone was just so fucking nice. Flock was really like an exemplification of the best parts of Fedora.
Sorry. Wait, why the fuck? Okay. I'm not even gonna. Discord is having a Discord moment. Neil!
The Mpreg reaction is the opposite of the star emoji.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Okay. What
Next
are...
question. Next question. No.
Okay, this is a really good one. Oh my god. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
What is a Meowie?
Oh, simple. One who meows.
Next question.
Wow, my mic didn't pick that up. I tried to meow into the mic, but my mic didn't pick that up. Fuck you, Crisp.
Next question. Leah, do you want to read this one?
What are your first, second, third,
Breaking
fourth,
Bad
and fifth
reference!
favorite states?
Breaking Bad reference.
From
So
Sandalwood
true,
on Discord.
Joseph.
So, I guess people gotta.
Oh, shout out to Sandalwood.
Top 5 favorite states: Minnesota,
L.
California, let's say fucking Washington State,
L.
maybe Illinois.
L.
Why are you saying L?
Connecticut #1.
Screw Connecticut. You guys
You've
are
never
funny
had
East
New
Coast
Haven.
coastal
New
elite.
Haven style pizza is the greatest.
I have seen New Haven style pizza. It does not look good.
Everyone says that about every kind of pizza for every place that they're from.
June, have you had Twin Cities, or not Twin Cities, Minnesota style pizza?
That doesn't exist. You just
That
made that
doesn't
up.
exist,
It
yeah.
does. It does
No,
exist.
it
It's just
doesn't
Chicago pub
exist.
style with smaller squares.
So that's Chicago. Then.
Exactly, it's Chicago style.
No, Chicago has two styles. Our style is different. Oh yeah, Neil's
Yeah.
from Connecticut too. Addison, when are you and Neil meeting up?
Oh my god, Addison. Yeah. Favorite state. Okay,
Wyoming doesn't
so-
exist, by the way.
Yeah, I guess I can say it. My favorite states.
In Ohio.
California. That's the only state in the union, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Average Californian moment. Minnesota is somewhere.
Hey.
Minnesota.
It's probably a suburb of Los Angeles, honestly. Yeah.
Leah, I know where you live.
Camembert burger.
Camembert burger.
No,
Hey, honestly,
no,
okay, honestly,
no.
I like Detroit
Camembert
pizza more than
burger
Chicago
explodes
pizza.
when you take a bite.
Oh my god.
Oh, it erupts. Yeah, it's erupts.
Okay, this question's getting nowhere. Let's move on to the next one. Why is
Wait, no, I
Sandalwood
didn't
asking only
answer.
stupid questions?
I didn't
Favorite.
answer.
Favorite Undertale song? Okay.
get the answer.
Okay,
Death
bro,
by
you
Glamour.
can go ahead, June.
Death by Glamour. Death by Glamour. Goat. Death by Glamour.
Neither one made
The
it.
Welcome to the
Metatron
underground.
song.
The one that goes "Welcome to the Underground" and then the parody says "Give us your balls." I don't know what the actual song is.
Okay.
It's
so
not
my
a song, I
favorite
think.
state.
It's a sound effect.
Oh, June's trying to answer the last one.
What's your favorite state, June?
I didn't get to answer it. Okay.
Is it Misery?
Yellow Strikes Back
no.
is not a real Undertale song.
Okay, look. My favorite state is Minnesota, obviously. I don't have a second favorite, and my least favorite is California. Okay, next question.
Fuck you. Minnesota's not even a state. Okay, next.
Oh my god.
Favorite Undertale song? Yeah.
Megalovania.
Yeah.
Megalovania.
Death by Glamour.
Yeah,
All right.
fair enough.
Do we have pets? Is the next question.
I have two pets. Actually, no, I have 3 pets. So I have Jade, Addison, and
Hey, not in public.
Yes.
Don't say shit
Yeah,
like that.
that's exactly.
Oh, oopsies. I have I have a dog. Coco.
I had a pet until a couple months ago. My beloved dog of 10 years died in January, and before that, I had like 2 years ago, I had a pet lizard and a pet frog too. So I had a frog, a lizard, 50 snails, and a dog, but they slowly died off. But yeah. That's from other people.
I have 2 cats and a snake.
Oh yeah. Owen's cats are extremely adorable.
Oh my god, his
I
cat
love
Lucy
my
is the
cats
cutest
so
cat.
much.
Look,
Yeah,
okay.
they're wonderful.
Layla, there's some people who have like leech patches. Patches?
I used to have
Leech
I used to
pets.
have a pet.
What was your pet,
Leash is-
Cappy?
Well, okay. I used to have a pet eel.
You had a pet
Eel?
eel?
Wait, what?
Yeah, an
That's
eel.
kinda cool.
That's so
It,
cool.
Yeah, but the thing is that my family used to own a pet eel and a pet goldfish. Both of them committed suicide.
What?
Yeah, one of my frogs did that. I used to have 2
One of
frogs, and
my
then one of them
frogs
jumped
did
out of the
that,
tank.
too.
I like no. Like the eel committed suicide first. It was straight up of like no fuck this shit and just straight up jump out of the damn aquarium. Somehow I don't know how it did it, but it killed itself.
Yeah, my frog did that too.
It is
One
so
of my frogs did
desperate
that.
for an escape.
I have a story. So I used to watch the frogs for my elementary school over like breaks. And one day we were feeding all of them, and one of them just launched itself against the glass tank and it died.
Oh.
And I got really sad. And then we buried it in my yard. We had a little funeral for it.
Oh, I remember
Aw.
pet funerals as a kid.
Pet
I know,
funerals.
right? We have a lot of
We
reptiles.
played like we did something at my frog's funeral, and then we had to like dig him up a couple months later and move him because we were building a garage where he was buried.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
It was
I forgot.
very sad.
I forgot. I also had pet birds.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
next question.
had a pet cockatiel and I killed it accidentally once when it was
Next
free.
question.
Next question.
How do you get caffeine in your body if you use it? From Bughouse
Oh.
in Discord. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one.
Okay, I'm gonna answer first. I'm a coffee fanatic, but I'm also a really big fan of the bubbler energy drinks, the ones that have the stupid spelling and have like 70 milligrams of caffeine. I love those. They're so good.
Right now.
My favorite flavor is the watermelon one.
Yes.
I drink Americano and soda. Like I just mix them. It actually is good. Like black
That's
coffee
like the
with
Coke
soda.
with coffee drink. One of my favorite drinks at a local coffee shop.
It is basically like cold coffee, but without the sugar. Like I mean, me and my mom, like we drink them. Like I don't know, my mom introduced me to like mixing black coffee with soda. It actually
Kinda
tastes kind of
delicious.
good. It's kind of sour because of the soda, and it's actually pretty good.
Just drink water.
I mean, my mom introduced me to it. She actually has decent taste on this.
What's everyone's coffee
I'll
order
drink
then?
coffee first of all, and then second of all, I just drink water.
Wow, Motto, you're raw
Wow.
dogging life.
So
That's
real,
crazy.
Motto.
Wow,
No
Mado.
substances.
Mado is a caveman.
What?
Cat?
June and Owen, what about caffeine?
I don't regularly consume it.
I think June's
I
probably
am currently drinking Starbucks coffee right now, like one of those like not actual Starbucks order, but like one of those powdered coffee from like Starbucks. They sell those.
Okay,
those aren't
anyway,
great.
so I drink normal coffee usually. I just like just black coffee. Yeah.
Yeah, black coffee.
Sometimes I put like cream in it, not always. Sometimes if I'm being lazy, I don't.
Man, I hate milk.
And then sometimes, especially if I'm around Leah, I'll have Starbucks, but only if someone Leah makes me.
Yeah, I can agree with that because Starbucks is expensive as hell.
June, don't go back under your rock. The next question's for you.
I was gonna say, so for me, I love espresso. Okay, give me all the espresso.
I love black
any
coffee.
espresso-based drinks too.
I love latte.
Okay. If it's available and if it's bad,
it's just water.
I love Club
It's just
Mate.
water. You guys are just drinking water with extra stuff. Just drink water.
It's either latte or black coffee for me.
I tried buying Club Mate in the US, like imported one. It was dog shit, so I only drink it when abroad.
I have very strong opinions on coffee, so if you want to hear more about them, like ping me an off topic, and I will talk about coffee with you.
What is your caffeine intake? Explain this.
So much Monster that it's like scary for my health.
Are you?
She got addicted to Monster when we were at Flock.
My doctor told me it was a problem when I told her.
I mean, if your doctor tells you it's a problem, it is a problem. Please stop drinking Monster.
I only drink.
Let's
like
come to
4 a
Hong
day
Kong.
max.
Let's come to Hong Kong. We don't have monsters.
Please stop drinking Monster and drink Red Bull instead.
Okay, look, all I'm saying is once you get medicated for ADHD, you don't need that much coffee. In fact, you can handle much less coffee, and that's a good thing.
That's crazy.
Okay, we should go on to the next question. It's actually for June.
Wow, this is crazy. How's Fish doing? From Joner in Discord. Fish.
Are you swimming well?
Yes, are you swimming well?
Fish is doing better. Fish just finished many finals. Yes. Fish wants food. Oh, also, Fish has been fainting a lot recently. This is scary.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I saw her do it last night. It was actually really
Go to
weird.
the doctor, man.
I told her
I
this.
tried. It's scary. I
You
don't know.
literally like scheduled a doctor.
The doctor is less than a block from your
Yeah.
house.
Shut up! Stop using logic on me.
Okay,
No,
we should go to
I
the next
saw his
question.
schedule of doctor's appointments.
Forget U.S.
Go
states.
to the documentation.
What's the best state of matter and why?
Oh, let me answer. Oh, I
Huh?
love this stuff.
That's
Okay,
a
so my-
question?
Yes, it's a question. So my favorite state of matter is a photonic molecule because that's like what a lightsaber theoretically would be, and I really like Star Wars.
Yes,
But my
My
other
fav-
favorite states of matter are Bose-Einstein condensate and quark
That's
gluon
my
plasma
favorite.
for reasons.
I like
My
Bose-Einstein
fav-
condensate. It's the
My
coolest you
favorite
can
state
get.
of oh yeah. Okay. My favorite state of matter is liquid because I can drink liquids.
Mm.
So you cannot eat solid?
I drink water, okay? I love drinking water.
You can drink plasma too. Oh no.
You might not live. Yeah, honestly, like if like I have like terminal cancer,
You can drink anything once.
if
Once.
I have like terminal cancer, I want to drink plasma to die. That's how I want to like end
Oh
my
my
life is
God.
drinking plasma so I can experience it.
I dare you to drink liquid copper. Yeah, sure.
Okay, next question. And this is a funny one.
Oh my god. Okay. This is funny for you, Jade. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's for me and Owen.
What's
Same
one
guy.
rule and removes change in the Chicago? Wait, what's one rule you would remove / change in the Chicago Manual of Style? From
So
junior
first, to copy edit this, you should actually fully spell out "ud" instead of "ud." Secondly, my two removals from Chicago Manual of Style are fuck the 3M dash, get rid of the 3M dash. Nobody needs the 3M dash, and stop using M dashes as bullets. You can just use a hyphen for that, or use actual bullets. We remove that in Fyra style that we're currently working on, but nobody should be using the 3M dash.
Nobody likes Freedom Dash.
Also, etc. is a bit ambiguous. Owen and I were debating that last night.
etc.
Yeah, my comments are just on how etc. would be properly used, but I forgot to finish researching the answer to this question.
We were reading the Manual of Style last night. Like
I was
had to
reading
pirate
a bunch
copy
of it last
17.
night, and then we got distracted watching Futurama. But there are ways in which I wish etc. were better formatted.
Yeah. Next question. Oh, this is a really good one. Like an actual good one, I mean. Like
Yeah, I had a feeling you and Cappy would have the best answers to this one.
if you could revive an old project and succeed, which one would it be?
This is a hard question because I actually forgot.
On God.
Okay.
Okay. So you see, we're reviving Octi. Okay, we are making.
Oh God.
I was actually going to say that as well, but I have other reasons.
The lore goes back. Anyways, next question. I don't want to explain that here.
That's the Discord
okay,
phone.
Wait, no, I want to.
I want to
Okay, actually, no, go
revive.
ahead, June. Or,
No,
wait.
I want to revive this old project that went nowhere. This Linux from scratch. This independent Linux distro we had.
Oh,
The
no.
idea we had.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to
We're
revive my
going.
version
We're
of that
going
that,
LFS today.
I only worked on with Leah.
We're going LFS today. That's it.
No, we're not.
Owen and June and I actually did LFS this year.
Yeah, that was fun. I would love to revive my LFS image there.
June.
I would like to make LFS, but everything is an OCI container and a layer. I mean.
Oh, I forgot about this
Okay.
idea.
Old projects. Lately, I've heard many complaints from many like disjoint groups of people about both like Matrix and Discord. So I feel like there's potential for something to happen here. I've also talked to a friend about this, and she's like talked about I forget what the exact word is, but like there's some updated version of IRC. So maybe that could be a better
Is that
solution.
Ringo who brought that up?
Yes, of course. So I don't know. There's something going on with messaging protocols, and there's something to be done there. And
mod
Octi-
can you do with
that's
the
Octi
chat,
2
please?
is coming back. Oh
Nope.
god.
The Fyra Labs mission statement says that we're not allowed to do that.
No, it doesn't.
That
What?
is true.
Okay, anyways.
Oh,
Cappy, could you deal with Twitch chat, please?
Huh?
Okay.
There's someone posted a porn link in Twitch chat. Please deal
Oh,
with that.
typical
Thank you.
Twitch.
Okay, we have one more question.
Oh god.
Let me see.
This is gonna be. Why
This
you
is
end-
another
Oh,
California
yeah,
one.
that's
Why did you
hold
end
on.
this
Let me
on a
ban
divisive
that
question?
guy.
I didn't pick. It was just the last
First
one
the
submitted.
last one I
Sandalwood
submitted.
did that.
Okay.
I love
I have
Sandalwood.
banned him.
Opinions
California's
on
too hot. That's my only opinion.
I didn't even read the opinions on California from Sandalwood.
Too hot. That's my only opinion.
Okay, I have very opinions. I think California is like it's like if you took suburban hell and then made it as big as possible and then it turned into a state.
L.
That's my main complaint. Um, Otherwise it's actually like fine. I like to hate on it a lot because I think it's funny. But yeah, Minnesota's better. That's all I'll
Not
say.
true. Untrue.
I would live in California because they have a lot of immigrants, and
Minnesota is the
would fit
perfect
them.
temperature. It's too hot in the
I
summer
would
here.
fit. I would fit in there, but the
Our
issue
s-
is that America sucks. We all know that.
Yeah.
So I am not going to California.
Yeah.
California's neat.
So
I want
Jade's
to do
opinions on
Taiwan.
temperature are objectively incorrect because she has a nuclear reactor inside of her body. But
Oh my god. I swear to God, I
Yeah.
just said that I said yesterday that I
I would
start
freeze
to
to
like
death in
I
America.
don't actively make plans for going outside if it's over 75 Fahrenheit because that's too fucking hot, and I don't go outside at all over 80 Fahrenheit.
Addison's making a face, and she's from Connecticut.
80 Fahrenheit is
75
too hot.
Yes,
Imagine-
it is. It's so hot at 80 Fahrenheit.
Try
You
living
can
it.
never
Try
go out during
try
summer.
living like that all day, every day in Thailand.
Yeah,
Like,
I die.
Hong Kong. Okay.
Jade, I have told this information to to a bunch of people from varying regions, from very cold and hot regions. All of them are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
My room is a cool 62 right now.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god! Wow.
Air condition.
No.
I have a really
You see,
efficient air
even
conditioner.
Owen
75 is like
agrees.
the next day for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
Owen, you
love the
just
weather.
can't handle cold generally.
It's not.
Well,
It's
yeah,
a
but
reasonable
75
temperature.
is like a little bit
That's
above room
not the
temperature
reason.
anyway.
It's just a little bit above room temp.
Room temp in
Owen
my house
is
has
a
been 70 my
stick
entire
figure.
life. Owen is literally a stick figure.
I am a stick figure, which is why I hate the cold.
I'm like the opposite. Like when you're in kindergarten and you see the two kids who draw like a ball and with sticks on it for legs and then a stick figure. I'm the ball and Owen's the stick figure.
What the hell does that mean?
Have you
Hold
never
on,
seen like children draw stuff?
Let me check the temps right now in Thailand. It is currently 30 degrees Celsius in Thailand. Try
We had a
living with that.
tornado today. Or almost had a tornado today.
That is 84. That is 84 Fahrenheit.
Mm.
Ugh. Was it also humid?
Yes, very humid.
Oh,
80, I mean,
that
84
sounds
is
miserable.
84 is not horrible.
Well, but 84 and humidity. That's
In-
like heavy air want to die.
In Thailand, I mean, I'm pretty sure it gets
That's
colder.
normal. That's normal. Try living that shit all day, every day, in all your life.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the winter or for fall. Actually, fall's the best season.
What?
Wait,
No,
was-
I love the summer.
it was 40 Celsius with an OAC. That seems like dangerous.
That's against the
It-
law.
it's probably
Yeah.
somewhere in the heat wave.
Yeah, Nova.
probably heat
It's
wave.
like how what Tree drew. That's exactly me and Owen. That's me and Owen.
That's such a funny drawing.
What the hell?
Thank you, Tree.
Oh, interesting.
There's actually
Oh.
a state law
Okay,
in
then.
Minnesota that when the temperature drops below 50 Fahrenheit, you need to have heat ready to go and turn on.
Oh.
If you're a
The
public
normal
place,
temp in
it's the
Thailand
law.
is 40, 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, Celsius.
So, my God, Jade, you would not survive anywhere that is not freezing cold. That's for one.
Hey, I could survive in places where it's like lukewarm year round. But like
Why?
California, it's just hot in summer and
It's
then it's hot.
Define
it's-
lukewarm.
North
Define
Pole?
lukewarm. Define lukewarm.
Yes.
Lukewarm's like
North Pole or South
high
Pole,
60s,
whatever.
low 70s.
Lukewarm
James
for
Emery
you
survived
would be
in
freezing for
lukewarm.
me.
L-take.
High
Define
60s
lukewarm.
is not lukewarm.
Define lukewarm. Define lukewarm.
Iceland.
The drawing!
Yeah, I'm gonna get crucified no matter how much I share my opinions. So we should probably not talk about
Okay,
this discussion.
my opinion, as a
We'll just
person who
talk about
lives in
this.
California, okay, I have a love-hate relationship with the state. However,
Oh no. Yeah, as someone from California, same.
yeah, but that is the only way to live in It takes a certain it takes a certain type of person to enjoy California. It takes a certain mindset. That's all I'll say. However, it is a great state if you have the money to live here. That's what I will say.
Yes.
Addison seems to enjoy California too.
I think that's the last of our questions.
And Nova is a very big Cali enjoyer too. To be
If
fair,
you enjoy playing GTA 5, you
to
might
be
enjoy
fair,
California.
you lived in Florida and then Wisconsin before that, I think it was. So you don't have much to speak there. But yeah, I think that are all of our questions. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
We did it.
I propose wrapping up now because I'm hungry.
Yes,
I'm hungry too. I need to go eat something. I skipped dinner to come to this.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
Well,
I haven't
thank you, everyone,
slept
for
all
showing
night.
up.
Yeah,
The
I'm
last time I
getting that
slept,
too fast. I'm sleeping again.
I should pass out
All right,
because
go
I'm
sleep,
indexing my.
Cappy and Motto, who got up at 6 in the morning for this.
Well.
Yes, and thanks for all the questions and showing up and all that. Woo.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I did not expect.
I was looking forward to this event for a while.
I did not expect people to ask so many questions.
I know, right? There were so many more questions.
We're doing a round 2 after 42 or
My
something.
mom is scared for my life right now because I may faint anytime soon, and she doesn't want me to wake up in a hospital bed.
All right.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. It's been great.
So,
I
bye.
hope we were able to answer all your questions.
Yep. Bye-bye, everyone.
She is scared for my life.
Meow.